What's up, Insane Rhetoric? What's up? What's up? You know what it is. The world is upside down. We're trying to make it right side up. What's going on with y'all out there in YouTube land? You know what it is. There's some tomfoolery happening around the world, so we finna see if we can unravel and debunk the tomfoolery. What's happening, sister? What's up?
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
How y'all how y'all be?
We good. We good. We good. So what's the word for the day? What's going on? What's on the table? What's on the flow, like we say? What's on the flow? What's good? What's going down? Who done shot John? Because I know there's somewhere somebody done shot John. So what's happening?
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out. There was this girl, um, Shaquela Robinson,
Hmm.
and apparently she had a mysterious death. But they got a video that shows she was in some kind of altercation before she died.
Hmm.
But this was in she 25 years old.
She was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she's not still 25. She's perpetually 25.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So she was on vacation in Cabo.
Mm.
I'm not
And
going to Cabo.
why?
You know, when we report they came up missing and stuff, I know they be young and springy and cute, but I see it would be my luck that I go to Cabo and I be the one old lady that's ugly that somebody want to get. So
I don't have time. I don't have time.
okay, so Shaquela, I'm sorry, let me get it right. Shanquela,
I like the other one better.
Shanquela Robinson. She was in Cabo. She was on vacation. Her friend
Mm.
said it was alcohol poisoning.
What?
Her
They still
friends,
they still do alcohol poisoning?
her friends say she died of alcohol. Yeah, you can still die of alcohol poisoning. We just had this conversation on our several episodes about alcoholism.
Yeah, I know that. I'm just saying, you people still drink like that to get alcohol
Yeah,
poisoning.
we just
You know how much you gotta drink to get alcohol.
then we just had this episode.
Yes, we did.
We had like 3 episodes on alcoholism and people dying of alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Mm, such thing.
she was celebrating her birthday. She died less than 24 hours after she got there. So she didn't even have the whole day in Cabo. Her friends say, quote, she wasn't feeling well. She had alcohol poisoning. They say she couldn't get this is her mother. Okay, her mother, Salamandra Robinson. Shanquela is the daughter. Salamandra is the mother. They couldn't get a pulse, says Salamandra. Each one of the people that were there with her was telling different stories.
Yeah, that's usually how it go. If
Yeah. If
if
something
it
went awry, right?
Yeah, because if the police come and investigate and everybody's telling the same exact story, somebody's lying because there's no way everybody's gonna see that same story the same way.
The family had to pay $6,000. They had to wait 6 weeks before they can get her body because the friends got on back on the plane and came home.
Wow.
Left her there, left her body there.
I mean, it ain't nothing they could do. They couldn't take it with her. That's crazy. So 25 years old over in Cabo, and you get alcohol poisoning. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That
so
sounds suspicious to me.
apparently the autopsy report shows a different story than what her friends told the FBI and the Mexican authorities.
And that's usually how it goes.
Well, you know, we probably won't be able to go to Mexico pretty soon. Anyway, I'm just going to insert this real quick. I know we're not talking about this right now, but our governor has invoked uh, a law that pretty much says we're at war. Invasion. He invoked the invasion law. That he trying to stop the people from coming over. So he invoked the law. Okay, we'll come back to that. So I'm just waiting on Mexico to decide we're at war. Anyway, let me get back to this. That's why I said we probably won't be able to go to Mexico pretty soon. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Okay, so when the autopsy came back, this is a quote from her mother, Salamandra. Salamandra. I don't know how you pronounce it, but like that. Anyway,
Might as well be
quote,
salamander.
draw.
I said it right as well be salamander.
When the autopsy came back, they said it didn't have anything to do with alcohol. They said that she had a broken neck and her spine in the back was cracked. She had been beaten. There's a graphic video, y'all. Go out there and look for it.
Mm.
It shows her engaged in a physical altercation with a friend. It's always a friend, right? Or a family member.
Yeah, always.
So nobody, no news outlet or nobody's been able to confirm the validity of the video, but the friends and family say the video shows her severely beaten while naked.
Well, that definitely ain't an alcohol poisoning.
And then a voice can be heard in the background saying, Quayla, can you at least fight back?
Well, somebody friend's finna go to jail.
Yeah.
So some 25-year-old that lost her life over in Cabo because she was beaten to death. And do you know how hard that you have to be beating somebody to shatter the back of their spine and break their neck? That's some intense force to break a person's neck.
Yeah.
I mean, like that just don't break easy unless you got real brittle bones, and that usually comes when you get older. But no, 25. And if she was a nice sized girl, maybe 120, 130, that's some extreme force to do that.
Yeah.
Here at Insane Rhetoric, we do know our numbers and we do check our facts about different things. And certain things we just know you ain't gonna be able to do just like out the gate
I
without
want
knowing.
y'all, I'm sharing my screen. I don't know if y'all can see this. Tell me if y'all can see this because I'm sharing the screen. I might be just sharing it with my co-host, but I'm I'm new at this, y'all. I was hoping I was sharing it with y'all. So y'all don't talk mess this time because I want y'all to see this. I'm trying to turn the sound on. Because I want
Today's
y'all.
ep- today's episode is sponsored by Starbucks. Get you some. Oh yeah, that. But
I don't know if y'all saw that.
but even in that, it didn't look like that's another woman fighting that girl. That's so.
Yeah, and it's a man in the background saying, Shaquilla, can you please fight back? At least fight back.
But my thing is
And
the
she drunkenly said no. Like that. That's where she answered no.
yeah, cause see, and that's the reason why if you gonna do stuff like that, drink or smoke or whatever you do, you best to do it at home because people look for times to get you off your square and get at you for whatever reason.
And then the woman that was beating her, you saw her wig came off, right?
Yeah. And then she just pulled it all the way out. Like,
Oh, I'm sorry, Salamandra. I,
but
but
I'm telling you, the way she
and
threw
then
her
she was
down,
like, she was clapping her hands like, get up, get up.
right? Because she wanted her to fight. She wasn't fighting back, man. After she rushed over there and put two to that girl, and she noticed she wasn't fighting back, she should have let that go. But my thing was the way she threw her down didn't seem like she hit her head on nothing, like she had enough force to break her neck or any of that. The way that fight went real quick. Yeah,
Well,
so
we don't, that was only what, 16 seconds?
yeah, we don't know how long it actually went, but
Yeah.
yeah, so
How long it had been going on before that? Like,
yeah, like people get
if
them
she
videos
fell
of
at a certain time, it
time,
just,
yeah, yeah, because people get them videos, it be
because she was
like,
slinging her around like a rag doll, y'all. I don't know if y'all saw it. I hope
yeah,
y'all, I, I, I hope y'all saw it.
yeah, I don't know about that, man.
That
But
was, whew, yeah,
that's a tough cookie to swallow right there.
that, I, yeah, y'all saw it. It came on. We showed it. We shared it.
Yeah, that's
Y'all
just
saw it. I don't know if y'all heard it though. But y'all saw it. I was playing it. Y'all saw me playing it, huh? It,
yeah, mm, it's mm,
yeah, that's the first time I ever shared something. I'm gonna work on that better. But
mm.
yeah, that's the first time I ever shared something. I'm gonna work on sharing stuff better than that.
You doing good. You doing wonderful.
That's
We got to
that.
start somewhere.
It just took me by surprise, y'all. I just had to share.
You
I,
got it out there.
I, she was whooping that girl butt naked.
Beat it
She
like
was
she stole something.
at her
What,
free time. I get up.
what was that boy name? Who said that in that movie I forgot it was a martial arts movie and he was like grab her like a toilet seat, Tommy.
Okay, so there was a 22-year-old in Canada.
Oh Lord.
She was Somalian, and apparently they say she
Is no longer with us too?
yeah.
Oh wow.
So she Hodan Hashi, she's Somalian. She was killed after she was involved in a fight with another patron at a bar in Canada.
Mm, mm, mm,
Paige Thurald Fisher, 22,
mm, mm, mm.
was charged with second-degree murder. Okay, but here's the deal. She was later released on bail because the court reduced her charge to manslaughter.
Yeah.
Second degree murder to manslaughter. So they reduced
They reduced it drastically.
and let out on bail. So her family is they, of course, are
Upraged. So what was the fight for? What was the altercation? Did they ever say what
listen,
the
y'all.
altercation?
Well, $50,000 cash bond. See that look on your face? You did the Scooby Doo look. Raggy.
Somebody paid $50,000 cash.
So apparently, the police officials reduced the charge after a video circulated online of the fight. The
So,
video had been taken into court as evidence, and
so
so she was released
it must have been self-defense.
on a $5,000 bail.
$5,000 bill. That's all you had to do was come with $500. Get out.
So, of course, this Hashi, Hodan Hashi, that's her name, identified as Muslim.
Okay. Clearly.
She attended a religious school at a local mosque. She would go to, she lives in East Africa. Okay. That's where her family was from, and she would routinely go to East Africa. So she was going to this. Okay. She recently graduated from the Sir Robert Borden High School. And she was intended to attend the Saskatchewan Polytechnic.
Sound like she had a lot going on for her.
She worked as a restaurant server.
A waitress.
And a translator for the Somali immigrants.
Oh,
so
cool.
Apparently this place in Canada or wherever she hangs out or go to school or whatever, it has a huge Somali culture. Maybe a lot of kids from Somalia go there, but she from Somalia.
Might want to stop going there now. It don't look like it sounds like the place to be. If you got to contend with getting murdered in a place, like, you know what I'm saying,
she had 500 people at her janaza, her funeral. 500 people.
Sound like she was loved and respected.
Yeah.
In the words, I was gonna say the late great, but I don't know if he late and he really wasn't great to me. But in the words of Rodney King, can we all just get along?
Yeah.
Is Rodney King still alive? If he is, I know he broke.
Yeah. I'm with him. Can we all get like?
Yeah, man.
Enough is enough.
It's a sad state of affairs when like millennials don't see past 25, you know, or 20 or even 18 because you got beef or issues with somebody. You know, it's just that's just crazy. I talked to my daughter the other day. She came over and she's getting ready to be 25 in December. And it's just like unbelievable what she has done in that amount of space and steady doing stuff, trying to get her life together, you know. Just man, it can be so much stuff that y'all could be doing that gets you money legally and get you everything you want, fame and fortune, you know what I'm saying, where everybody has to know you or knows you, but you got to put in the work, man. That's the thing. And I don't mean put in work as on the street, put in work, and y'all guys know what I mean, and y'all women know what I mean. I mean, like, so you can be successful because that street money runs out. And it ain't going to places just because somebody famous is there ain't always the best thing to do. Because some people don't come out of that.
So, okay, y'all. A few days ago, we had an election, and Mr. Orange Hair, as we all knew he was going to do when he lost in 2020, we all knew he was going to take his bid for presidency to 2024. Okay, and he did. So his new thing is he's getting tough on drugs. I'm, I'm gonna call it Trumpinomics.
Basically.
We had Reaganomics, and they was tough on drugs.
And that was horrible. That was freaking horrible.
So now listen. When I listened to it, it just sounded very much like I just want to kill all the black and brown people. So let's just do it this way, but we gonna report it the right way, okay? So prior to that, okay, it just got reported again, but it actually happened. I saw it actually in the news prior to the election, but it just recently got reported again. So let's just really break this down. There's a drug dealer in Wisconsin he's been consistently on Wisconsin's most wanted list. Does that make him a drug kingpin?
If he's worth a certain amount of money, if you're doing numbers like maybe 200K and above, and if you're doing numbers like that, you're not doing them in a month, you're doing them in a week. So that would be he would be like the guy to go get.
Okay, well, Kenneth Twyman, he's 25 years old. Okay, he had been captured by he's been captured by the U.S. Marshals 3 times. He keeps getting away, keeps getting off because he pays his way out of jail with bail 3 times. And he's awaiting trial for shooting a man back in April. That's why I told you I've been kind of hearing about this case a while, but recently, like within a few days, they just captured him again. Okay.
So this is the thing. The U.S. Marshals are state regulated. Apparently, he might not have got to the point of Fed status yet. Once a Fed get on this case and they make it a Fed case, then the Fed's gonna let him do what he want to do until they get enough evidence on him that he can't get out of jail. You know, so it all depends on where he at. If he just making enough 50K a week, what's that? That's 8 grand a month. I mean, 108,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? It don't. It might not be on the Fed's radar yet. But if he keep going like he going, and he making crazy money like that, it's gonna show up. But
Okay.
them state boys, they just trying to pull them off the street real quick and just give them the business. But they ain't got nothing to make them stick yet. That's why he posting bond like he doing.
Well, he was charged with felony counts of first-degree reckless homicide involving the use of a dangerous weapon and possession of a firearm after being convicted of a felony.
Yeah, well, that'll put you in the bracket.
Okay. So that particular thing happened in April
Mm-hmm.
of 2022. The police say he shook hands with Tavon. Okay, he shook hands with Tavon Luckett outside of a gas station before shooting him twice and killing him. Along with being charged, a warrant was issued for his arrest. He was captured on July 10th. Cash bond was set at $100,000. This was the third time that he had been captured by the U.S. Marshals.
But
Okay.
that's what you don't do. You know what I'm saying? If you finna go in and you finna get bonded out, anybody that brings you 100K cash, that don't you already know what they doing.
2018, he was arrested after leading the police on a high-speed chase that resulted in a crash, leaving 3 people injured. He was charged with 5 felonies that day. He fled the police after a crash with injuries, second-degree reckless endangerment, possession of more than 200 grams of marijuana with distribution intent,
That's conspiracy charges, man. That's federal. That's
possession of 1 to 5 grams of cocaine with distribution intent, possession of less than 3 grams of heroin with distribution intent. That was 2018.
yeah. Like, subscribe, and follow Starbucks.
Please, it's getting hot in here, but we're not taking off our clothes. I'm not sexy, so y'all don't want to see it. Okay. Okay, here we go. Plus, it's cold in here. Even if I was sexy, I wouldn't take my clothes off.
It's cold
But
everywhere right now.
so they obtained 7 cell phones. On one of the phones was a video of Mr. Twyman driving through Milwaukee and firing an automatic weapon out the driver's side window. December. So this is another time in 2018, December, he posted a $3,000 bail before disappearing. He was tracked down by the marshals in January, again of 2022. He posted a bail of $9,500 to get out of jail, and the bail was set at $100,000.
Yeah, I mean, like, what can you say? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think sometimes the state boys and the police, they just like harassing because it gives them money in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't saying all police take money, but we know some that ain't straight arrows, you know. And if you pulling this guy over and they going to send the marshals every time, come on, man. Yeah.
Now, listen, Mr. Twyman's family done got all in it and sent the people to raid another man's house, Mr. Stulo. In Mr. Stulo's house, they found, look, yeah, this is what they found: 9 guns, more than 3 pounds of marijuana, and $101,722 in cash. He got on probation. Mr. Stulo said to his probation agent, he didn't know Mr. Twyman personally, but he knew the parents from church and a landscaping business where he met Mr. Twyman's father. He got a loan.
So the
And
church people the church people called in on the man next door
but
because
that was after they got a loan from him of $100,000. So now he's charging them $110,000 for them to pay back the loan after he got out of jail because they called him because they was trying to divert and distract from their son. and Mr. Twyman was transferred to Waukesha, Wisconsin, to face the drug charges before Mr. Stulo posted bond for Twyman. See, it's all they are.
They all together. They all together.
Okay. Anyway, I don't want to say any more about that. Okay. So you have that going on. Now you got the president. Okay, he is a former president. Okay, Mr. Orange Hair. You got him saying this.
Mr. Orange Hair is like the Sandman. He brings dreams that don't materialize.
So Mr. Orange Hair, when he started talking about how in Singapore and China they say they don't have a drug problem because the moment they capture drug dealers, they take them to trial that moment and they execute them.
Who said that? Orange Hair?
Orange Hair said in his bid when he said this is part of his platform for 2024. He's going to stamp out drugs.
So
he said pass a law mandating the death penalty for drug dealers.
that mean almost everybody in the White House gotta go to jail to be executed. Because at the end of the day, there are no black or brown people flying planes and floating boats into the United States.
So Boozee Badass back in the news, he wanted to know if you're going to have the death penalty for white cops who kill innocent black men.
And listen, you need to put that on the ballot. And also take all those hanging laws off the books that's been on there forever. So this can be a string that unravels a sweater forever.
Mr. Orange Hair, he say that on average drug dealers kill 500 people with what they sell. Okay. Every drug dealer during his or her life, on average, will kill 500 people with the drugs they sell.
He made up that statistic.
We're going to be asking everyone who sells drugs, gets caught selling drugs, to receive the death penalty for their heinous acts. Everything is always heinous with him.
Man, listen, man. Do you know in the 80s that this was the years of the Reagan era? There were more white people on powdered cocaine and had the money to do it because in the 80s there was cocaine, pure cocaine was $90 a gram. So the people who was snorting cocaine at that time in them years during the disco era, the Woodstock era and all those different eras, they were the only one who had the money to buy it. That's when somebody came up with the idea of how to make it cheaper. And that's when rocks came. Man, that dude don't know his statistics at all. And yeah, no, I'm not going with that. Like, if that's the case, man, like I said, every other maybe every other person in the White House or on Capitol Hill need to be persecuted and freaking executed for drugs, because like I say, they are the ones who clear border patrol. They are the ones who have to clear customs. There are no black people doing that. You know what I'm saying? So you floating it in, you flying it in, or you bringing it across the border, because the regardless of what people say, the United States is built on conspiracy, and
From
90%
the beginning.
from the beginning. So
I don't.
so so therefore so
They were
therefore
white people.
right. So
I'm
therefore,
sorry.
they was back
Listen,
there. They was back there
listen,
smoking. They was back there smoking peyote with Indians. Then
listen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. White people, I love y'all. I love you, white people. But come on now.
you get that from her. You ain't gonna get that from me. Y'all all right? Some of y'all.
No, but listen. Y'all know the history. Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
I
like it. Freaking
just
Washington was back there smoking dope.
they
Like,
they cocaine was the cocaine was like the medicine. Like
exactly,
I
exactly,
don't.
exactly.
But if we just take it back to Reaganomics, let's just take it back there. And I got, we're not talking about Reagan's politics per se. I'm just saying the war on drugs part. Let's just talk about the war on drugs part. We're not talking about the rest of the stuff with Reagan. We're not talking about the rest of that. The war on drugs part. Do we need to go find and see if what's his name? Was it North, Colonel North,
Yeah,
that
Oliver,
told us about the
Oliver,
Oliver?
Oliver North.
Do we need to go find and see if he can come on this show and remind the people about the Contra
Man,
hearings and
man,
what he had to get up and testify against, that he was sworn to do what his president told him to do,
do
and
we,
that's why he did it.
man,
I
man, yeah, like if y'all
How
don't
the
know,
ties between Nicaragua and the U.S., even though we were supposed to be going down there and making sure we was, that's why they couldn't get El Chapo for a long time, because
right? That's
we was
that's
supporting him.
exactly. That's but see,
I
even before El Chapo, there was what's your Noriega. Noriega was
Yeah, Noriega too. That's right.
Noriega
We were supporting him
was
on one side and saying we was fighting him on the
on
other.
another. Like that's the reason that they captured, Nori, because of he stopped dealings with them, because they was trying to say one thing on one side and then turn around and do something on the other side. And that's why Noriega finally got into it, and then they finally locked this dude up because he didn't want to deal with them no more, because they two-faced it. How you gonna say that the United States is not floated
But
by
if you go,
the
but
drugs that come into the country? That's
so
what's
you
the
gonna
source.
lock up? Are you gonna lock up the Cosa Nostra?
No,
Oh,
no.
I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah, I'm asking for a friend too. They ain't gonna touch. They won't touch the Costa Nostras. They won't touch the Gambino families, because them are all the people and all the other families that are associated with them. They won't touch none of them, because them are their friends. That's who they're doing it with. That's how they're getting their money, man. Come on, man. It's three things that float the United States economy: drugs, uh, school loans, and freaking house payments, mortgages. Those three things float the United States economy. Man, get out of here, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
y'all need to go
okay.
back and read y'all history of the United States. First of all, let me give you a subtopic on who your first president was. Your first president was not George Washington. Let's be truthful about that. Your first president was James Jameson, which he was the president of the United Congress before they was ratified and became the United States, who was black. Oh, but you won't get that in school. I'm sorry. But this is the grown up Sesame Street and the letter people. Come at me, the
Which
letter
one we gonna be, the
people.
letter people, or
We're
we
gonna be
gonna be
all
the
of them because
Sesame
it take
Street?
letters to make words. Come
But
at
we gonna
me,
be what's his name?
buddy.
We gonna be Mr. Rogers.
Uh, it's such a good
Hey,
feeling
wait a
to
minute.
know you're alive.
Sidebar for a sec.
Yep.
Did you watch the Barney documentary?
Nope. I never liked Barney. I thought he was gay off the top. I never liked him.
That's exactly what it was about.
I never liked him. I don't. No. Never. 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 When I seen some other kids watching, I turned that mess off. Now you ain't finna do that to the kids. No. And like I say, I ain't got nothing against gay people. Let me be clear, but it's certain things I don't think you should do to kids at a certain age and expose them to certain things. So no, I turned that right off. I really had trouble with Mr. Rogers, but then I had to look and see what he was really doing.
Well, okay. So I watched the documentary.
So was Barney
It
gay?
was it was two it was a two-part documentary.
So was
So,
Barney gay? Was he gay?
well, before I answer that, what was the problem? What is it that you think he was he was exposing the children to?
I think just the how he delivered messages and what he said and the content sometimes bothered me.
Tell
You
me,
know what I'm saying?
okay, give me an
I can't.
example.
That's been so long since I didn't heard people just listening to him. I'm just like just it it's certain ways I think you should approach children, and
Okay.
it wasn't for me. It wasn't.
How was he being disrespectful to the children or approaching
I
them?
didn't say that he was
Yeah.
being disrespectful.
Okay,
I'm
how
just
was
saying
he
that
how was he approaching
subliminal,
them?
subliminal is like it's the tone, it's the wording that you use and some of the phrasing that he used to say. So I don't, but that's just me. Somebody
No,
else
no,
might not.
I'm just okay, but I no, millions of people agreed with you. So I'm asking you, what was it that was inappropriate that he was doing to the children?
Like I
I'm gonna
say,
answer your question, but I'm asking what.
that's what I can give you right now because that's what I encountered. You know what I'm saying? And it was the tone, it was the phrasing of things, and then it was like you was almost borderline pedophilia because you was too close to kids for me. You know, like I no grown man in the suit or a grown woman in the suit doing. It just didn't feel right to me. But I was never a Barney fan. I had to get with Big Bird. I was like, I don't. Big Bird was too friendly. Ain't nobody that doggone friendly all the time.
So that's what it was. They
It
were too
could be.
friendly. They were too
Yeah,
friendly.
and too friendly with kids bothers me.
Okay.
Now, who I did respect on Sesame Street was the Count. Count was off to himself. He came and told you some numbers, laughed about it, the thunder clapped, and then he walked away. And he was a man in a cape. He said what he needed to say and kept it pushing. Grover was cool. Elmo was all right, all right. But Barney, nah, it
What
was.
did you think about Bert and Ernie?
I thought Bert and Ernie was decent. They wasn't in people's face. They wouldn't you didn't see them like their dynamic wasn't in people's face and just all the time around the kids. They gave their lessons and they moved on. Barney on the other hand is just like to constantly be in the mix of things, and I didn't agree with that.
So there were people who thought Bert and Ernie were gay.
I could I could
Two men sleeping together, sleeping
in the
in twin beds in the
and
same house, in
I
the
can see
same
that.
room.
And I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. I mean, I'm just like I agree. So what's the thing about the Barney dude? What was his demo?
Okay, so it was a biographical about the lady who created about Barney, but it started with how Barney was even created.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lady, I think here in Texas, I think she was from
Okay.
Texas, who had at the time her son was like 2 years old, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, there weren't many things that she thought were appropriate for 2-year-olds and could assist in their learning,
Mm-hmm.
which she's right. There weren't.
Mm-hmm.
So her son, like a lot of little kids, had a fascination for dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
And so she created just a little video just for herself.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just started creating. And she had a kind of a background that would have lend itself to this. And she was a housewife,
Mm-hmm.
but she had a background that would lend itself kind of to this a little bit. And that's how this video got created. It was just
Okay.
for her son. And then she'd create another one to keep him busy and going because he really liked it.
Right. What's his name? What's the other dragon name? Pop Top, the green one, the female
I,
green dragon, dinosaur,
I,
or whatever.
I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But she created these Barney videos because and at the time, and she is right, the networks were doing um, cartoons and videos, cartoons and programs that were geared toward um, graphic violence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just think about He-Man. That's kind of graphic violence.
Man,
And skull, like
but
for a 2-year-old, let's come on,
okay, okay, I give you that for a 2 year old. Okay,
come on.
oh, okay.
Okay.
That was Scooby Doo.
So
Scooby Doo was cool.
no, because the killers were always trying to
Keep going
no,
back to the killers. Okay, I see what you're saying. There was nothing for children at that time too.
right.
But
And there was nothing that showed, the depth and breadth of human kindness and learning through human kindness. That was her thing. So she created this dinosaur who taught these lessons through human kindness for her
okay,
son. But her friends saw it, and of course they got kids too. So, hey, can I have a copy?
mm-hmm,
Okay. Until it got to a particular woman who was a marketing, until it got to a particular person who was like, no, no, no. It somehow got to the radio person. And the radio person was like, oh, this is cool. We need to go on. And that person helped her move it into TV.
mm-hmm.
And then it was on TV for a little while until it got to a particular marketing person. And she was like, huh, okay, this is cool. So she worked closely with the lady. And that's when it went viral, because then that's when they started doing the concerts where they went on road trips and had the concerts for the kids. Okay. The people behind the scenes, the actual kids, and then they were all talking. The guy who played Barney, the first guy who played Barney for like most of the time, and the second guy who was the voice of Barney. Okay. And then the first guy who was the one in the suit, he was originally an actor who was good at mime. But he ended up he got some other gig or something, and they needed another Barney. So, and it was just about the time when they were getting ready to do the road shows that they did. And that's when they got the guy who was a dancer. He was a dancer and a yoga instructor. And they knew about his tantric yoga. Okay. And he explained it too. He was like, I don't have sex with everybody. That's not what tantric is about. And he went on to explain tantric. Okay. So, and he signed all his clauses and stuff he was supposed to sign. And he was like, okay, I'm a dancer. He was in like they showed his music videos he was in and stuff, movies he was in, TV shows he was in. Like he's a full-blown actor, but he just happened to have this yoga thing on the side. And all the kids said, nobody ever touched us. It was a safe environment. Like they grown-ups now, it was a safe environment. They weren't safe when they went out into the world. These kids, they got teased at school. They got hurt at school because people thought Barney was gay. Like the people took this stuff out on these children who, after Barney was over, they went into the world and they wouldn't tell people that had even been on the show because people were treating them poorly. Like fighting them, beating them up.
So, like, I mean, and I get that because when you see something like that as a little kid, you think that that person, since they dealing with that, they have a tendency to be soft or whatever. That's why not like I said, I believe in balance of anything. So if you showing something like that, then create a superhero that's like He-Man or like Superman or like Batman to give balance, but you still cross the borders of lessons because anybody who went to school, like when we was growing up, watched He-Man. We watched He-Man. We had He-Man. We had Mighty Mouse. We had Speed Racer for cars. We turned around and we had Transformers. We had Voltron. We had all these different cartoons that gave us this like we wanted to be like, and then
but they taught violence but they didn't teach
that's what I'm
human kindness.
that's what I'm telling you though. It has to have balance. Life is not about human kindness and everybody being nice. That's like a person getting ready for a job and then they don't think that there's going to be competition there. You're teaching kids that if you do this, it's going to go your way all the time, and it's not. That's what I'm saying to you.
But Barney didn't do that. Barney did not teach. Barney did not teach that things were only always good. They did not. They focused on a lot of the different things that the kids were actually going through
I didn't
and
say that
how
they
they could
did.
handle that in a grown.
You can't always handle it in a nice way. You can't be nice to everybody because people will walk on you. And if you don't think that you're going to have an altercation in life and you're going to have to be able to fight sometimes, then you have a misperception and guided wrongly in life. That's what I'm saying. I don't care how you do it. Just put it together where there's balance in it. If you get up in the morning and think that everything that you gonna do, you gonna go out to be nice to everybody, you can do that. But that don't mean that they're gonna be nice to you. And then when somebody's not nice to you because you've been taught to be so nice all the time, you're gonna retreat back into something that you think is a safe zone because somebody said something to you and affected you in a different way that you have never heard in your life. That's what I'm saying. Level the playing field.
I
If you're
don't.
gonna do
I
that,
was taught.
if,
I was taught to be have human kindness and do the right thing and
so
be nice
you ain't never had to snap on nobody.
and that's my point I'm trying to make. That's my point I'm trying to make. I was taught to to do the right thing, to lead with kindness, to not to be fighting, try not to fight. Like I was taught with all those concepts, okay? But I don't know anybody in my family that won't get with you when it's time.
But
I'm
that's what
just
I'm
saying,
that's
I
what I'm
I'm
saying to
just
you.
saying, just because it's being taught doesn't mean that it's breeding someone who can't defend themselves.
I didn't say that it can. I'm just saying just give balance because when you put into place something that's like let's like take right now for instance the school district. You go to school to learn. It's an institution of learning. But you're gonna have issues with different people that's in those schools. Now, if you tell a person and you sign a disclosure saying that your kid cannot fight or defend themselves in school on no grounds,
Well, in Texas,
wait,
you
wait, wait,
can't
wait,
nobody fight.
wait a
It's
minute
part of
though.
their student code of
But
conduct.
that's what
So
I'm saying. So if somebody comes up and smacks you in the face in a lunchroom, you know what them kids are thinking? If he don't swing back, he's soft. He's a person that can't defend himself. Even though they parents signed that school of conduct, they're gonna go back and start thinking about what that person did to them, and that's one of the reasons why you create um all these mass shooters in school because the natural humanistic ability of anybody is to defend themselves, period, at any age. And if you don't allow them to do that, then what you have is somebody continuing to jump on that person from from day one when that happened,
they,
which is unfair to
you know what?
anybody.
You know what? I okay, but you know what? My son was fighting every day. He was having to fight every day until until the day I said, "Hey, I want you to I need you to just get out of school. I need you to get out of high school and get into um I need you to get out of middle school so that you could just get to high school because I need you to just stop fighting. Every day I'm coming to this school because you're fighting." Because he was a little shrimpy, he was a little shrimpy. So from day one in middle school to the last day of middle school, every day he was fighting. Like
Yeah,
like
get it.
I actually had to teach my son how to fight and be strategic about fighting because he was always fighting, even though we had both signed the student code of conduct that he wasn't supposed to fight. I had like, it was every day because bullies just decided that because he was short in stature
That they
and
was gonna
skinny,
try him. That they was
that
gonna
they was
try
gonna
him.
try him,
Of
right?
course.
So there was a fight every day of him, trying to protect himself.
Time out right there. Now, since that happened to him,
Mhm.
if you eliminated that and he would have did not fight and stand up for himself, would it be the same guy that he is now?
I think so. But
So
let me
you think
finish the story, because
okay.
let me finish the story. Because when he on that very last day when I was pleading, please just get out of school, he did what I asked him to do. And I took a chance. I took a chance because we had the whole conversation of what this was going to imply if he did what I asked him to do. And he didn't want to do it because he said that they was going to take him for okay, back in them days we could say this, y'all, so just bear with me. They was going to take him for a quote unquote punk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all, that back in them days we could say this. We talking 30, 40 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, but that ain't nothing. Yeah.
Okay, so on the last day of school, I wasn't sure what was going to happen because he wanted to protect himself. I just wanted him to get out of school without a case because they was giving cases, law po cases.
Man, it wasn't nothing but juvenile detention.
I still don't want him in juvenile detention because
It goes away after 18.
that wasn't about that. It was
I,
about all the
I,
shit he was going to learn if he went into juvenile
but
detention.
but that's the same thing that you learning on the street. Same thing. That's my point. Go ahead. Finish. Go
Why
ahead.
everything got to be about the street? Why
Because it
everybody
is.
got no,
Because
everybody
it
doesn't
is.
have to have the mentality of this is the street. That is what's
It's not saying that
wrong.
it's not saying that you have the mentality of this is the street. It's what happens in the street. That don't mean
Oh
that you
my
take on that
God.
same, that don't mean that you take on the street. It's that you know what goes on in it.
Oh my
And
God.
the same thing that goes on in the streets goes on in schools. That's all I'm saying to you. That's it. So you wanted him to graduate and you told him to do something. What did you tell him to do?
Don't fight.
So you told him to stand down.
Mhm.
They wouldn't consider him a punk because he'd been fighting all up until this time.
I
So
said, just take one knee. Do this. Take one knee. On your knee, do this with your face to protect your face. But don't move. If they kick you down, go ahead on, take the fetal position. Don't move. I got you. I got you. He went out that door saying he wasn't gonna do it. Then I got a call like right before I was supposed to get off work because at the time I lived and worked exactly 1 block away from the school.
yeah, that was good.
I got a call from him when he got home. I did what you told me to do. It didn't work. I said, what you mean, Mom? I got all these bruises all over me. And people was saying, like in that video we looked at earlier, he say all his friends were saying, man, why you won't fight? Get up and fight. So he was being egged on to fight, but he went on and did what I asked him to do. So I left work, went home. I happened to have a Polaroid, and I took Polaroid pictures of my son shirtless. And then
Polaroid for all the millennials is a camera that actually spits out
they still
pictures
have Polaroid cameras.
instantaneously, and you fan them and they develop.
They still have them. It's a new.
But I'm pretty sure that a whole bunch of people don't know what a Polaroid camera is.
So I took him. I took him back up to the school before school was completely let out. And I talked to the officer that was on the campus. Officer Grapevine, how you doing?
Officer Grapevine.
She probably
Ooh, I
she
heard it
probably
through the
she probably
grapevine.
retired now. So I took her up there and she looked at the pictures and she heard the story. And she was like, she looked at him because she knew he was fighting every day. And she was like, you actually just stood there. He was like, I really wanted to do what my mama said. I wanted to get out of school. I'm tired of being here. I don't want to be here anymore. That's what he said. So I'm what my point is this. You can be taught how to have civility with people, come through kindness and whatever. And you can also, in that same environment, be taught how to strategize, take care of yourself, and understand that everyone is not being taught the way that you're taught. So you need to take precautions to be aware of your surroundings and know what to do if you're if you happen to be forced to be engaged in activity you don't want to be forced to be engaged to.
And I agree with you. The only thing I was saying was you
And that's
gotta
what I
teach.
think that
You,
Barney did. I think that they told different people stories about all of the sadness and stuff that was going on in the world, but they told it in a way that a 2 or 3 or 4 year old, 5 year old could understand.
and I mean, that's fine and dandy. My point of that whole situation is everything needs balance. Everything. Like I said, I gave you the analogy of when you're competing for a job. Life is a competition. And the way schools have it now, oh, everybody is equal. Oh, you get a trophy for trying. Man, no. If
Well, I
you
don't
ain't the
believe in
if,
that.
if you ain't the first runner up or the second runner up, third don't mean nothing. Nor do fourth or fifth. And when we was growing up, that means you were last.
I don't believe in that either. I'm sorry, y'all.
My thing is that if you are last in those positions, then you need to up your game. You need to be better at what you're doing or trying to achieve. Because life ain't gonna give you no trophy because you tried. It ain't gonna give you no trophy because you tried it all. Shoot, if that's the case, then all black and brown people should have trophies for trying not to get killed in life. If that's the case, come on, man. It's all about competition.
But I
Life is
think that it was told in balance. I just think that it was told in a way that children of a younger age, like my daughter, should not have been shamed in 4th grade. She should not have been had to have been shamed into not liking Barney anymore if she liked Barney, because nothing was going on at her household. Those Some of those same concepts were being taught in her household, and she liked Barney in 4th grade. But I noticed at a certain point, if you would say something about Barney, she would kind of go
well,
like,
I think that comes from a point of a black household because they have been manipulated so long through earlier years to do different things concerning white people from the time of slavery that anytime that they see something that maybe don't feel right to them, they don't want no part of it. You know what I'm saying? They just don't want no part of it at all because they know the depiction that happened way back then. So I think some of those things are are brought up through the lineage to think like that. And if you want to change the narrative in that, then you got to start teaching stuff that's different. It's just like how many black people can actually name all 50 states? You know what I'm saying? How many people know the senator of their state? You know what I'm saying? So it's a systematic system. Everybody's not taught to build on stuff like that. Black people are taught to survive and fight no matter
Uh,
what. No matter what.
that's not how we were taught to. I'm black. I was raised in a black family.
You
My
was taught to
mama was
fight.
black.
You was
My
taught to
daddy
fight.
was black. I was taught to fight, but I wasn't taught to fight in a violent manner
I didn't say see you see,
unless I needed to fight
but
in
you
that
didn't hear what I
manner.
said. You didn't hear what I said. I said everybody is taught to fight. I didn't say taught to fight in violence. I said taught to fight. No matter what you do, were you when me and you met each other, we met each other in a job where we had to contend with a ignorant director every day. So we found different ways to accomplish what we needed to do around that director. Is that not true?
Well, I actually think
If
that
that's not true.
that is true, but
Okay.
let me say this. I actually think that um I actually think that that's what Barney was getting at.
All I'm saying
There
to
are
you,
different ways to to fight. There are different ways to do what you need to get done.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But also, I'm saying in that, on that particular note, that you need to know the other side of it when other people think that that's not cool and that they might come for you because you think that way. And that's how business works. You can have a crazy idea if you don't patent your business and then have it copywritten and everything that you need to do for your business, do your LLC and whatever else you need to do, then your business, your name can be taken and revolutionized through somebody else. But it was your idea. Now, if you don't want to fight for that to get it back, then guess what? They just took your idea. Everything is a fight in life. I don't care what nobody says. Matter of fact, in Lower Manhattan on Wall Street, they fight for numbers every day. Buy, sell, trade. It's a fight right there every day at 6 o'clock in the morning. Everything is a fight and everything is competitive. And if you think you're going to send your kids out with a mentality that, oh, you're going to get a trophy for doing good, you're going to get a prize for trying the hardest, you're wrong because life doesn't work that way. I'm in a race right now for something. If I think that it was going to be handed to me when I submitted my resume for it, then I would be crazy. They had to scrutinize me, figure out what I know and what I'm doing and what I have done, and then they putting it up against somebody else. If that ain't competition, I don't know what it is.
Why does it have to be
Because
violent?
somebody has to win.
Why does it have to be violent? And if it's not violent, why does it have to be said
But
that you're gay or anything else, or selling drugs, or being a pedophile to
that,
children
that's
because it's not violent?
that's because that's the humanistic nature to challenge things. That's the human. If people challenge things that they don't understand, how many people don't research what they are getting into? Somebody heard them say, "Oh, my kids go to this or this or this or this." It's like, oh well, if your kids go, shoot, they hang out with my kids, so I'm gonna send them there before they even research it. Prime example. What was the girl named the singer that just pulled her kid out of Donda because of what was said by Kanye West? But she put her kid in a non-accredited school just because it was his name. So that's human nature to do things like that. All I'm saying is violence takes on different forms. It ain't always got to be a fist to fist because technically, if you look in the Bible in the book of James, it tells you that life and death is in the power of the tongue. So you can kill a person with your tongue. I mean, if we want to, you ain't got to put your hands on them. You can destroy a person with words. Prime example: look at black people in general down through the years. You just like your daddy. You ain't gonna be nothing. And then when he turned out to be just like his daddy and he ain't, and then you looking at him sideways, but you done told him that all through when he was being brought up. So yeah, the violence don't have to be a physical connotation all the time. Violence is words. Violence is looks. You look at a person sideways, they look like, what's your problem? You got a problem with me? All the Karens in COVID, the one in the grocery store that spit on the lady when she was trying to get her groceries and talking to her without no mask on when people was dying from COVID. Come on, man. Come on, nah, I can't fly with that. Like if you just level the playing field of telling kids this, all right, at this age, you can understand that. I get that. But then here's the flip side. This right here, at a different age, you're gonna have to start being this way. You know what I'm saying? And trying both ways to encounter whatever you're doing. I agree with that. But when you make the narrative just one-sided, that ain't how life works.
But it wasn't one-sided.
Why come it wasn't? Because everything that Barney was doing was in a position of light that it was all good. Life ain't all good. So that's one-sided.
He didn't say they didn't present everything that life was all one-sided and
Right.
all life. They did not present that it was all good. They did not. They gave
Barney never had a bad message. Barney was like freaking what's your boy name? Joe Osteen. He never has a bad message. It's always good. That's one-sidedness. What?
It's not true.
Why come it ain't?
What you're saying is not true.
I ain't never heard.
Well, you didn't watch Barney, so
I watched it for a few. I ain't never heard him say nothing bad. Did he ever say anything bad?
It wasn't about him saying it was bad. He helped the children through whatever the situation was. So if there was something about bullying or something about divorce or something about there were stories that things happened in the children's lives that made the children sad or cry or mad or whatever. And then and then when they started adding some of those characters, like there were some characters that they added that were bullies. They addressed the things that were going on in the children's lives that weren't necessarily good things.
Did the bullies fight the bad people? Did the good fight the bullies to show that, hey, sometimes you gotta fight? Now I'm talking about physical violence.
I think there was one episode where the dragons were fighting or whatever. And then they talked about why that wasn't a good thing.
And there we go again. Why fighting is not a good thing. There's my point. Because you can't get away from that in life. And if you're downplaying one side of that, you're saying that this is how it's going to go all the time. And that's not true.
You have to give children options.
But that's what I'm saying. If you telling them it's gonna go this way all the time,
basic instinct tells us to go into fisticuffs. But if you give a child an option, then maybe they don't have to go into basic fisticuffs. Maybe they can do something else.
See, I'm arguing with the wrong person. Because my big sister over here is a teacher by nature and by trade.
I just don't understand why.
I get her. I get it, but I'm not a teacher. I am in one way, but not that way. But
I don't understand why I'm looking at you like you sound crazy right now.
I'm just saying you got to balance the playing field, man, and that if you downplay that, you're going to have to stand up for yourself and like that being
That's
good.
not downplaying that you have to stand up for yourself. That's
No,
not downplaying that you have to stand
being
up for yourself.
good is gonna override that you might not have to be in a competition or some type of fight to get where you want to be. That's a downplay. Out of
That's not that's not that's
you
not a
can't
downplaying that
minimize.
sometimes
You
violence happens
listen,
and
listen.
sometimes you are in a corner where you have no recourse but to fight back.
But if you
That would be a
constantly
true
tell,
statement.
that's
But if you
subliminal
give
messaging. If
kids,
you constantly telling somebody that they don't have to do this, they don't have to do that, they don't have to do this, it's
is there a
limiting.
different way? It's making you think,
Man,
use your brain for more than just being a
man,
dumb jock, and just
but it ain't
figure out
it's
if
not
there
being a
happens to
dumb
be
jock. It ain't
figure
being
out if there's just a
it
different
ain't
way to
being a
do
being
it. You
it
may
ain't
have to fight. You
it
may
ain't.
have to fight to defend yourself. But is there another way that you can get out of it with only using your words? Is there
This
a
is what I
way?
think. This is what I
Is
think.
there a
I
way?
think that we are saying the same things, but we're going about it two different ways.
I,
My thing is just simply this. Competition is going to happen in life. Sometimes you're going to have to physically fight. Sometimes you're going to have to mentally fight. My thing is that the realness of life is you're going to have to fight on all levels of life, regardless if it's physical or regardless if it's
but
mental.
but
There's your
let
way
me
of
tell you what
thinking. That's
let
all
me
I'm
tell you what my
saying.
observation has been. And I'm old, and this is my observation. People who spent the better part of their life putting up physical fisticuffs, I fight you with one head tied behind my back.
Mm-mm. Really,
That person,
snagglepuss, really.
well, that was cowardly lion, but
Oh
anyway,
yeah, that's him too. Yeah,
okay.
Wizard of Oz.
People who have traditionally, that's all they do is that type of violence, bam, bam, shoot you. I'm mad, so I'm going to shoot you. Bam, 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 bam. It's not that they can't go forward because they're going forward because they're big bullies. They can go forward. They can be big things. They end up on death row, but okay.
Oh, that's a stereotype.
But 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 are you stereotyping people who do it my way? So,
I'm not stereotyping
but you don't want to
anybody.
hear it. Okay. So it has been my observation that people who use this brain to strategize how to move forward, what they're going to do to move forward, what they're going to do to get rid of their arch enemy, what they're going to do to, okay, we talked about the Costa Nostra and all of that. Those people, they sit up and strategize what they going to do, and they let all their footmen do all the hard work.
And is that not a fight?
Again, that's what I said. In Barney, this is what the precept was okay. I want to teach you how to handle things in a way where you don't have to always lead to bloodshed.
But
Like
I never said that.
but that guy called, he's gay. The guy who came up with Barney's voice, the voice actor who was Barney's voice, he was like, he said he and his wife, when they came up that Barney was gay, he was like, it just boggled his mind that this goofy voice that he came up with, because they were playing to 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 year olds. He came up with a goofy voice that the kids would like, and it got turned into the character was gay. He was like, he was just sitting there like, how did we get there? When all I
But
did was come up with a goofy voice.
I mean, well, once again, I say like that's just human nature, just to challenge different things about stuff like that, especially if it's something that you don't understand. People fear what they don't understand, and the only reason they stay in fear is because they ain't bright enough to go research it and read it.
Okay, but the
Simply,
same thing, that happened to Barney like people were being held at gunpoint. People were getting threatening letters saying they were going to kill them. These are the same and organizations were being created to kill Barney. These are the same types of people, and we have not changed. We are violent from our very beginning history. These are the same people who
Who?
showed up at the Capitol.
Well, I was gonna say who was violent, because
These are the same people that showed, same thinking people that showed up at the Capitol to commit insurrection on January 6, 2020.
oh, don't bring that back up. They trying to downplay that right now. Don't bring that.
At what point do we talk about racism, we talk about all these different bad things. At what point do we actually teach our children to change? You can't say you can't have it both ways. Oh, we got to stop it when our children are young. We got to rethink how we teach our children, but then we want to teach our children to bam bam shoot them up.
Well, Pilate says, what is truth? Your form of truth and how you grew up is not my form of truth. Your mama may have let you play cards, spades, and all that, poker and all that. My mama told me we couldn't play that in the house. So everybody has a different truth. So you got to find what the middle ground is, and in that, I play chess. So everything is a strategy to me. Even when it's time to physically fight, I evaluate if that's worth it. My grandmother told me that I can kill you with the pen, whether I can with physical violence.
Which one? Who is the quote from? The pen is mightier than the sword. Who is
I
that?
don't remember. I don't remember, but all right, and it truly is. You can wrap a person up on paper for the rest of their life and don't have to touch
We
them.
learned to write, we learned to read because with that knowledge was power.
Yeah.
With that, you could strategize to learn how to move yourself forward. You had the choice to leave yourself right where you were and make bad choices, but you had the choice to do anything you wanted to do in a negative or positive way.
But I also
But you
think
knew you needed to know how to read, you needed to know how to write, you needed to understand words.
I agree with you. I think the most thing that's lost now in any society is empowerment. Taking the time and learning somebody that's younger than you and helping them along the way and giving them the essentials and the tools that they need to combat life on whatever level that they have to combat life on. I just believe that you should take people under your wings and begin to teach them really what's going on, because what we have now is a lack of knowledge in every community. It ain't a black thing, it ain't a white thing, it's a everybody thing, because the definition of nigger in the old Webster dictionary means to be ignorant. It's not race binding. It's or color binding. It's humanistic. It's you can be ignorant because that's what it meant until they changed it in the dictionary to mean a black person, because they did change it. Just like the word punk that my co-host Ice was talking about. Punk in the original dictionary was a piece of wood, like a two by four, but you changed the dynamic of that and then made it something that it really wasn't written for. So you have to know, like Marco said, you have to know the wording, the vocabulary, how to read and write, and most of all, how to comprehend what you're reading.
But I would also add something to that list. I would also add that sometimes you need to know the person that you're talking to. And if you can know the person that you're talking to and the way that they process, like
Mm-hmm.
where they come from, their
Mm-hmm.
experiences, like I was talking to somebody yesterday about how I got into a conversation with someone who was from Saudi Arabia. This was many years ago. She was from Saudi Arabia and she came to work upset because um, the woman next door was out sunbathing. She was in a she wasn't sunbathing in the true sense of the act.
Right.
She was in a bikini,
Mm-hmm.
but she was at the pool in the apartment complex.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman from Saudi Arabia came to work angry because the woman, number one, was by the pool early in the morning. Number two, she was in a bikini.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, what's wrong? Why? And she talks about how it was indecent that the woman was sitting at the pool in her bikini.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got into a long conversation about the fact that this is America. We not covered up from head to toe.
Right.
We wearing bikinis, okay? But that don't mean she's a whore,
Right.
thought,
Right.
prostitute, right? The fact that she was home in the morning going to the pool means that either she didn't have a job, too young
Uh-huh.
to have a job, her job don't start till later in the day, she
Mm-hmm.
off today.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a
Or
lot of
she
different
got
reasons.
somebody taking care of her.
It's a lot of different reasons why she at the pool,
Right.
but that don't have nothing to do with you.
Right.
Okay. So if you understand, different cultures, then when you're talking to people, you can use that to to get your point across, to make, like you can use that also to add.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just adding that to your list. But okay, so anyway, we done Sesame Street. Y'all knew I was gonna go find it.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, the sentence was coined by an English author. We back to the pen is mightier than the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Edward Bulwer Lytton,
Edward.
1839.
Wow.
It
Edward
was
Moore Lighton.
he wrote a play called Richelieu or the Conspiracy. It was a play about Cardinal Richelieu.
Mm-hmm. Familiar.
Okay, so the Cardinal had a line in the play in Act Two, Scene Two. Here's the actual line that the character spoke. True, this. Beneath the rule of men entirely great, the pen is mightier than the sword. Behold, the arch enchanter's wand. Itself is nothing, but taking sorcery from the master hand to paralyze the Caesars and to strike the loud earth breathless. Take away the sword. States can be saved without it.
Hey, you spoke that line like the Red Dragon, the poet. We gonna have to put you on. you you spoke that like the Red Dragon. Quote the Raven, ice,
This
nevermore,
this is
nevermore.
what teachers do. This is what teachers do. Reading
so
teachers teach your children how to read and understand
so
what they
so
read.
so
Okay.
things that like require strategy. I read a lot. So I read the Machiavelli, and it was talking about Machiavelli the Prince for those,
Mm-hmm.
and it was talking about strategizing. And you're saying when you have somebody captive, it's like putting a velvet glove to their back and smiling in their face. I got you. They didn't see it coming. You can't be you can't be too obvious in what you're doing. Chess is played like this in a quick synopsis. You gotta attack, but you yet gotta defend. You gotta set traps so they don't see you how you're about to approach. And then in the end, somebody king is laying down. So it's as simple as that. When you put a move out there, you're making your first opening, what we call openings in chess, and you're attacking something, even when you push your pawn the first two spaces. Then your next move, he's either going to counter with the same move, and then you protect the pawn that you put out there. You're always attacking and protecting, attacking and protecting. It's called development in chess. So you're developing your pieces to do what you needed to do. Life is like that. People say Monopoly is the game of life. I disagree. It's chess because it's all about a strategy and how you move and how you get where you want to be, whether it's whether it's physical, because some people have got to where they want to be physically. Muhammad Ali, he was a physical. His
but
trait.
he was very
I get it.
okay. So
I'm just saying
I
that was
want to
his
give you these
profession.
two. I want to give you these two before we go. Okay, so these are two precursors to the Cardinal Richelieu play. Here's one from the Epistle to the Hebrews. Indeed, the word of God is living and effective, sharper than any two-edged
His
sword,
Mm-hmm.
penetrating even between
The
soul and spirit, joints and marrow, and able to discern reflections and thoughts of the heart. Okay, that's from the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's an Islamic precursor to that. Pen is mightier than the sword. So Muhammad is quoted to have said, there will be a tribulation that will wipe out the Arabs, in which those killed on both sides are in the hellfire. In that time, the spoken word will be stronger than the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm familiar with those.
Okay.
I have read the Quran backwards and forwards, and some of the stuff that's said in the Quran is also a comparison to what's said in the Bible. I mean, but depending on who you're talking to is where you're gonna pull your source from. So, but
I mean, we could go to Napoleon Bonaparte.
Why?
4 hostile newspapers are more to be feared. 4 hostile newspapers are
Mm-hmm.
more to be feared than 1,000 bayonets.
Mm-hmm.
There are only
Urge.
2 powers in the world, saber and mind. At the end, saber is always defeated by mind.
By mind. Mm-hmm.
Well, I can
Listen.
give you one by Thomas Jefferson. Listen, okay, just saying, Barney was raised in that concept,
We get it.
but he got to be, now but then we got these people who are the precursors. Let's see, we gonna use precursors, the precursors to the January 6th mob. Okay, so y'all, my co-host had to stop and do something. I don't know what he was doing, y'all. We live, but okay.
Yeah, my thing was
Okay.
happening. Something was going on.
Okay. Anyway, y'all. So Again, I proved my point. But anyway, go ahead.
I prove mine
You
too.
ain't
So
proved
I
your point.
mean,
You ain't proved your
I,
point. You ain't proved
I
your
I
point.
prove my point, so it
Uh,
ain't even no worries. I mean, I
anyway.
like if my co-host thinks she finna scave out of here without no backlash, she's crazy. Like
I'm just saying,
you
it's
ain't
in the
finna
it's
you
in the Bible.
listen, you ain't finna get
It's
out
in
of
the
this
Bible.
fire without
It's
no
in,
smelling like smoke, ma'am. I'm
it's in the
sorry.
Bible. It's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. I'm just saying. Anyway,
I
y'all,
mean,
did y'all like, subscribe, follow?
yeah, y'all need
Follow,
to like,
follow, follow,
subscribe,
follow.
follow.
All right, take us
Follow
out
the
here,
yellow rose.
co-host.
So check it out. You can get us up, hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, whatever our platforms are. Anywhere you can spell insane rhetoric. Insane rhetoric with a K, not a C at the end.
Go
Okay.
check out the playlist too. The playlist
Yeah.
is up for November.
Check out the playlist. I think we got an episode that dropped last night that went up. So check us
Yeah,
out,
Free Fall
man.
Friday episode went up last
Yeah.
night. Y'all go listen to it.
So, and I believe I don't know if my co-host approved this yet, but I'm gonna say it right where we heard. Are we having a shed next week about relationships?
I don't know if it's gonna be in the she shed.
Like,
What?
because
Okay.
everybody got a relationship, and a whole lot of people got problems in them. All they can talk about what's good. We can do the whole gambit. So
I don't know if
I
it's gonna be labeled under the she shed, but we definitely is it gonna. I don't know. Did we decide when it was gonna be though?
That's what I'm saying. Are we gonna shoot it for next week? We gonna shoot it for next Saturday? When we
After
gonna
Thanksgiving, that's what we want to talk about. A
right?
lot of
Because
people get beat up during the holidays though.
but that's why we should talk about it because you didn't cook my turkey right, so now you gotta go.
The gumbo is nasty. Oh, okay.
Why are you still drinking so much at the party? Oh, a whole lot of relationships is going to be broken up through the holidays.
Between
That
now and the first of the year,
yep.
it's gonna be
Nine
on.
yeah, people gonna be like, man, I don't want to be bothered no more. I'm gonna reset, and you can go and get out of my life. You know what I'm saying? I think this would be the perfect time to do relationship aspect and
We gotta talk about y'all, but it's coming. We
yeah,
just can't tell you what day it's gonna be on.
yeah, because I think it'd be hot though. I think it'd be hot. But like, subscribe, follow, check us out on all platforms. We just doing the thing. We trying to do the thing. And just
We don't
remember,
tweet no more, but we on Twitter.
yeah, we on Twitter. We just sometimes we gotta that's a shot in the dark, but sometimes we gotta we got
Let me
we
pull a shade down.
like man, raise the shade up and let the sunlight in. Okay. So, so sometimes, hey, like I love my sister, man. I know what she trying to do. You know what I'm saying, and she's helping me to get better. You know what I'm saying, because sometimes it's just rough for me, but it's all good. I can admit when I'm wrong, and I can admit when I didn't do something right. I can take that. I'm not, so it is what it is. But yeah, just remember to enjoy the ride. That is insane rhetoric, and we'll see you on the flip side. Please stay safe. Stay safe through the holidays because a lot of stuff happens. People are out robbing people, think they got extras, you know what I'm saying? When people don't want to go to work and do what they need to do, just stay safe and please watch your surroundings and just remember to enjoy the ride that is insane rhetoric. And we out of here. You know what it is.